The sound of the church bells means it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a theme park Thursday double down at Nay. It's a triple down. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are here because we're relentless with the content.
Yes, this is what we're doing. Boom. Hello, Michael.
This is how it goes. We dropped a Theme Park Thursday podcast episode earlier this morning with Mr. Snidillo.
That's right, my baby daddy.
And we talked a lot about cars because @J likes cars.
That's right.
And then in the middle of the day, you dropped the latest What's in the Attic. If you watched that What's in the Attic episode, it had to do with a box that currently resides underneath this desk here. But no, it's like a little Easter egg bonus for those of you watching this live stream that I took off the lid of the box and I tried to quietly put the lid of the box over here. No, it's still right here from 2 days.
It's still there.
It's still there.
Right. No, why would it move?
How many days will it be here for? Who can
Till next
say?
Week. It'll be there for the Parks and Monorail's Most Magical Hour on Tuesday.
It's a possibility for sure.
Hello, Lewis and Nate.
So now we're here this evening with, a Theme Park Thursday triple down. We're crossing out the double down and we're putting in the triple for the triple down because you know it, you love it. It is the second round of the Dillo's Diz My Favorite Thing About Disney Ever This Year March Madness Mania Pool. Oh, it failed. Hello.
Look, what are you doing?
Is it there? It's gone. It's not even there anymore.
It's a fail. Horn. Speaking of your fails, I don't know if you caught the beginning of the gray area. That's with a little show with me and Angela Dahlgren on Wednesday nights over at youtube.com/Angela Dahlgren, where we talk about Grey's Anatomy. In the beginning, we were just chatting. We're chatting it up. And then I was like, I didn't hit go live. I pulled a Frank and I didn't hit go live. And it's happening. It's rubbing off.
Okay, so one time I definitely did it with the Lenny BS starring Cosmo, which is my Renaissance Festival character, Lenny Burrows, over at facebook.com/the Lenny BS. We do a little talk show gimmicky thing once in a while. It's a lot of fun with Cosmo, fortune teller extraordinaire. And they were definitely, I think it might have even been like his birthday or something, where the first 10 minutes, like nothing. And so have I done that in one of the Dillo's Diz entities before? That is what I'm trying to recall.
I feel like we've done it with the Parks and Monorails once.
Yeah. Well, you yell at me. You think half of the time I have not pressed go live.
It didn't change it. It didn't change it. And I didn't even realize it last night. And there was a pop-up that said, you have to go live if you want Facebook to see this. And I was like, oh, right. That's what has happened. Anyway.
So we are here for our second round picks in the Dillo's Diz My Favorite Thing About Disney Ever This Year March Madness Mania Pool. Horn that I don't have available. Today is March 11th, and it is technically the last day that you can submit your bracket completed by sending it to dillosdiz@gmail.com for your chance to win the $64 My Favorite Thing About the $64 Dillo's Diz My Favorite Thing About Disney Ever This Year March Madness Mania Pool.
Horn.
Which is a $64 gift card, but people are giving me advice of how to finagle the gift card. So we're working on that. More information to come. It's these little hooks, these ways to bring you back each Thursday when we're going to be here each Thursday, giving you the picks.
That's right.
With Theme Park Thursday, double down, triple downs, whatever they happen to be.
Yeah.
We're here for the picks.
So is the cutoff midnight tonight? What is the exact cutoff?
We'll do a midnight Pacific. So 3 a.m.
Oh.
You're on the East Coast, 3 a.m. midnight Pacific.
Okay. Stay up all night. Sure.
Well, it might take you that long to make these decisions. Who can say?
That's true. That's a fact.
All right. Are you ready for? Because both of us, when we logged on here, when we in the waiting room prior to going live, both of us still filling out our brackets.
Correct.
And that should say the second round. We did the first round. a half an hour before last week.
Yeah.
We want it to be fresh. We want it to be, we still want it to be a little indecisive here to get a little bit more of a high stakes. I don't know what I'm doing with my fingers here, but this is what it's a little fire underneath it. So I definitely have one that I still have not picked.
Same. We'll have to see if it's the same one or not.
So for those of you who may not know, there are 4 brackets. There's the Walter Elias bracket. There's the Roy O bracket. There is the Eisner bracket. There is the Iger bracket. And it's set up like your college basketball NCAA 64 team tourney. Jen has no idea when I say the winners today are moving on to the Sweet 16. Jen, what does that mean?
I don't know.
All right.
The next round?
There'll be 16 left after these 32.
That makes sense.
So in the past, we have matched up attractions and music and songs and TV shows and movies, and that is all fallen into one another to choose your favorite thing about Disney ever this year. Yeah. This year, because we're so desperate to get back to Walt Disney World, we've gone all Walt Disney World on this bracket. So we've taken some of, our favorite things. We put in some extras along the way here because, all of our favorites can't be your favorites, though they should be.
Everyone has the right to their own opinion. But do you?
I had to replace, the Disney Breeze with Daisy dancing on Runaway Railway. Okay. Right. That's what happened.
Right.
Didn't really happen, but
hi Jeffers, thanks for popping in during bedtime routines. We get it.
Like, where is Big Al from Country Bear Jamboree on this? I warrant you. Shouldn't he be on here somewhere? If not Big Al, should it be Liver Lips? Name your favorite country bear.
I couldn't. No.
I can't believe I named 2 right there. Wendell's on that list. I named 3. I named 3 country bears.
However, if they were getting rid of it, I'd be like, I can't believe they're getting rid of that.
Like,
how are they changing it? Right. I can't name any of the bears. So,
so here we are. We're going to start in the upper left-hand portion. If you're looking at your bracket, if you're stepping into your bracket, we're going to the upper
Mary
left.
Poppins style.
Mary Poppins style, Joey Tribbiani and London style.
Sure.
Whatever it happens to be.
Right.
The upper left, the Walter Elias bracket. To review the original 16, it was the Grim Grinning Ballroom and Haunted Mansion. It was the Toy Story Mania shooting portion with Woody. It was the Creative Greenhouse in Living with the Land. It was Dole Whip in Adventureland Only Please. It was Uncle Orville in the bathtub in the Carousel Progress. It was the Star Tours queue. It was Everest going backwards. It was the Grand Fiesta Pyramid Pass right at the beginning there on the Grand Fiesta Tour with the 3 Caballeros, the Rise of the Resistance Hangar Bay, Space Mountain Launch all the way up the incline, soaring over the Matterhorn, the Fire Rock Geyser at Wilderness Lodge, the monorail around Epcot, 1 carousel ride in Fantasyland, a test track test lap, and Humunga Cowabunga. Jen, has anything changed since last week? Do we need to make any addendums? I don't know. That's not a word.
That's not a word. But no, because I'm so great at decisions, although I questioned some of my picks, I didn't look at it again. It's been sitting here on the desk under the little table for the little upright computer stand thing. And it's been under here. I haven't looked at it until I just sat down to make my next round picks. I think it's better that way because I will overthink everything. I will second guess everything. And this will go on forever.
Right. So I'm going to show off some brackets that have been submitted before. We don't have time to show everyone's bracket. This isn't a 4-hour live stream here. Although I know
a minute and a half.
You're demanding it, but we have a minute and a half for each for each bracket. So I say we show a couple, and then Jen, you run down all your winners, so you're reminded of who won in the first round and who's moving on to the second round. All right, so just the Hyperion Adventures podcast, they submitted theirs, so you're getting a look at the second round and into the Sweet 16 here. So they have the Grim Grinning Ballroom, the Star Tours queue, the Rise of the Resistance Hangar Bay, and the monorail around Epcot is moving on to the Sweet 16.
Right.
I think these are all good choices. There are no wrong answers here, of course. And it's important to say that I think the Star Tours queue is going to get some legs from people. I think people were like sleeping on the Star Tours queue until it got posted here. Hashtag Delos Madness. I bring out the madness in all of you.
Well, that's
because I am responsible for the entire
hashtag blame Frank.
That's right. So this was
true for this, true in life.
This from Alexis. She has the Grim Grinning Ballroom, the Grand Fiesta, Pyramid Fiesta, Pyramid Pass, the Rise Hangar Bay, and the monorail around Epcot as her picks. And then what is this? Edit overlay name. No, thank you. And then Tracy Haynes, no exact relation to Theme Park Rob, submitted Grim Grinning Ballroom, Uncle Orville in the Tub, the Rise Hangar Bay, and the Carousel Ride in Fantasyland. All good choices, all good things. Now, Jen, I'm going to give you one more minute to lock in your votes.
That's fine. Mine are locked in. I can't.
Are you ready? Your picks are brought to you by Dillo's Diz Resort at dillosdizresort.com. It is your virtual destination for exclusive Dillo's Diz content. Head on over to dillosdizresort.com. Patreon membership levels beginning as low as $1. Jen? Listen, you yelled at me every week now about Dilloing the promotion of our Patreon.
Correct.
So I'm trying to do better.
I appreciate it.
She hasn't yelled at me. She's not capable of yelling.
I mean, you probably could have done this and not Dilloed it. That's
yeah. There's not even texting in all caps. The only thing she texts in all caps is thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. All right.
And now your picks.
My Sweet 16 picks are as follows. Do you want what I had before, or do you just want the Sweet 16 picks? Do you want the reminder of what?
Yeah, I would give me the matchup in this round and the winner.
All right. Matchup. Ballroom versus Dole Whip. Obviously, Dole Whip is my winner.
Okay. All right.
Star Wars Q versus Everest backwards. Star Wars Q winning.
Star Tours Q, just to clarify.
Star Tours. This is 3 nights in a row where I have screwed up my speaking and my words.
Jen is the queen of the Twitter live stream.
This is my 3, 4, 5. This is my 6th recording in 3 days. I don't have words anymore. Okay. Star Tours Q wins it. Space Mountain Launch versus Soarin' over the Matterhorn. Space Mountain Launch wins it. And Carousel in Fantasyland versus Test Track Lap. Carousel wins it.
All right. Those are good choices right there.
Thank you.
So I had the Ballroom versus Dole Whip as well, but I picked the Ballroom, and I'm not one of the people who like Haunted Mansion is their favorite ride ever.
Yeah.
But the Ballroom scene is so iconic to me.
Yeah.
It is. I couldn't tell you what's changed and what's not throughout the rest of the attraction, but I'm always focused on the Ballroom scene. I think the Imagineering story kicked that up another notch for me last year.
Right.
So I'm on a Ballroom quick kick. Star Tours Q versus the Grand Fiesta Pyramid Pass. I went with the Star Tours Q. The Rise of the Resistance Hangar Bay versus Soarin'. I picked the Rise of the Resistance Hangar Bay. The monorail around Epcot versus the Test Lap. I went with the Test Lap.
Really?
I surprised myself there. I still love the Test Track. I do. I love it.
Lewis, you ask a good question here. So I think what's getting us is the nostalgia. I think that's what this is, because we have a lot of nostalgia for the Star Tours Q. Because right now, if I were to ever approach that line and it's like 30 minutes, no. But way back in the day, we used to wait on that line for a while. So we really took in all the details and all of that. So I feel like that's what keeps speaking to me over Everest, I guess. But I like Everest.
Yeah,
So.
agreed. I think it's a little more interesting because I know when you and I, when we were last at Walt Disney World way back in January of 2020,
10
you
years
know,
ago.
I remember we ran into a friend of yours at Mr. Snidillo's. I mean, he's a
Yes.
friend of mine, I guess, technically.
Yes.
And he was telling us about how Star Tours had just added, the water scene from Rise of the Skywalker as one of the options. And I was like, ooh, that might be a little too much with the movement for me. Maybe no Star Tours today. And so it's funny that ended up going up against Everett's Backwards, which could also produce that same effect.
Yeah.
So it is the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move down to the Roy O bracket. The Roy O bracket. Let me make sure I got the right people's stuff here. There we go. Let me try to remember who the initials belong to here. This is how it all matched out originally. The Briar Patch, the big drop in Splash Mountain versus the Dormouse popping out of the teapot. There's a whole explanation on last week's picks of why, or even in the bracket of why the Dormouse is the thing here. The Jungle Cruise Backside of Water versus the Seas Aquarium. The Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in the Diamond Mine portion versus the Pirates Queue. Tinkerbell Flying from the Castle versus the Imagination Fountains. The Stretching Room at the Haunted Mansion versus the Navi River Shaman. The Town of Tumbleweed in Big Thunder Mountain versus the Indiana Jones Stunt Boulder. Really, that whole opening scene and the views as you lift across Dumbo versus the finale of the Electrical Water Pageant. I know whose bracket this is now.
Meldale.
It is Meldale. Fact checker Meldale dropped in to say hello. He hasn't fact checked us in a while. We must be doing something right.
That's right. We did it, guys. We got past needing a fact check.
So that's there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I didn't really talk about Mel's picks. So he's got the Backside of Water, the Pirates Queue, the Town of Tumbleweed, and Sunny Eclipse. I missed the bottom there, didn't I? So that was the Rock and Roller Coaster launch versus Sunny Eclipse as the final choice. And Sunny Eclipse has made it through to the Sweet 16 per fact checker Meldale. Very nice, very nice. We got Lewis's right here. Well, Lewis is here in the chat with us. He's got I messed up and did not include his Sweet 16 picks in the crop. Fail. Lewis, drop your picks in here of what you have going to the Sweet 16 in the next round. That's Lewis's picks right there. And then I had Dr. Val. Right here. I have Dr. Val's all set up. The Briar Patch. Can't hit those R's late at night. The Briar Patch.
Remember when we used to record things at 11 o'clock at night? Look at us now, 8 o'clock. That's it.
Sounding as tired as we used to at 11 o'clock. Oh, the pandemic. Tinkerbell, the Town of Tumbleweed, and the Rock and Roller Coaster launch. Jen, who should go? You want me to go first this time?
Yeah, go first this time.
So I had the Splash Mountain drop versus the Seas Aquarium and Splash Mountain advancing. I have the Pirates Queue versus the Imagination Fountains. This is a tough one. I went with the Imagination Fountains. The Navi River Shaman versus the Town of Tumbleweed on Big Thunder Mountain. I went with Big Thunder Mountain. And the finale of the Electrical Water Pageant versus the Rock and Roller Coaster launch. And I went with the finale of the Electrical Water Pageant.
All right. Interesting. You're already at Dollywood. Yay, Lewis.
Oh, very nice.
I didn't realize. That's awesome. Okay. I mean, I think it was interesting that I didn't realize the first two matchups are samesies for us. So I also had the Briar Patch versus Seas. However, I advanced the Seas.
Ooh, okay.
I had the Pirates Queue versus the Fountains. Obviously, the Essential Fountains are moving on. What'd I say?
You said
Did
the
I
Fountains.
say Essential?
You said Essential.
Then you said Essential, and I wasn't sure if I said it right because I don't know words. Okay, then I have the Stretching Room versus the Town of Tumbleweed, and I went with the Stretching Room.
Okay.
And then the Electrical Water Pageant finale versus Sunny Eclipse. Apologies, Mr. Snidillo. I went with the pageant.
I think that's all.
I have to get his, though, because I'm pretty sure Sonny Eclipse did not win his, so I need to see where that ended.
Yeah, we'll have to, especially as since Mr. Snidilla was a guest this week.
That's right.
I think it's important to share his bracket with the world. We'll do that on the social medias.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, moving over to the Eisner bracket. We had the Tower of Terror versus the Friendship Boat Ride, the monorail through the Contemporary versus entering the Millennium Falcon cockpit, the Sanaa Bread Service versus the Small World Heaven Room. We had the Spaceship Earth Planetarium versus Wheezy singing at the end of Slinky Dog Dash, Peter Pan's Flight over London versus Drinks at Oga's, the Carno attacking in Dinosaur versus A Blustery Day in the 100 Acre Wood, the Flight over across the Pandora landscape versus Daisy's Runaway Dancing, and the Muppet Vision Salute to all nations, but mostly America, all of a minute and a half long, versus the views from the Astro Orbiter. Let's see what some folks have here. I have this is waiting for Adam. This is what WF is. So he's got and again, I blew it with the cropping. What is going on? So never mind. We'll come back to that another time. So can I ask, is the one choice you have not made in this bracket?
Yes, it is.
Oh, as is mine. So I'm going to go from bottom to top.
Same.
Interesting. And maybe we can come to an agreement together. So Muppet Vision over Daisy's Runaway Dancing, Peter Pan's Flight over London over A Blustery Day in the 100 Acre Wood, and the Spaceship Earth Planetarium over the Small World Finale Room. I'm going to leave it at that for now, and then Jen, you go.
What?
Leave the one out.
You didn't. Okay, but
I'm not picking that last one yet. That's the one.
But you didn't pick the other. You didn't say your picks.
I said a Spaceship Earth over Small World. I said Peter Pan over 100 Acre Wood. I said Muppet Vision over Runaway Dancing.
I wasn't understanding the over. Okay, so
you didn't understand over. I'm
sorry. I too had Muppets versus Daisy. Save the Muppets obviously wins. Peter Pan versus 100 Acre, Peter Pan, and Spaceship Earth with Sanaa Bread Service. Spaceship Earth wins for me as well. So clearly we have the same issue.
Yes.
With this top one.
I picked the Tower of Terror drops last week as moving to the second round, and I picked them entering the Millennium Falcon cockpit for the second round. You had picked the monorail through the Contemporary, right?
Yes, and the Friendship Boats.
Oh, so we're completely opposite.
Completely opposite, but stuck on the same thing. Interesting.
All right. Who wants to go first? You. The monorail through the Contemporary versus the Friendship Boat Ride. So how about I pick yours and you pick mine?
Well, here's what's so funny. So when I was doing it before, because I was looking too fast, I thought I had Friendship Boat Ride versus the Falcon. And I was like, ooh, I don't know what to pick. I'll leave that blank. I'll come back to it. And when I was sitting here, I was like, oh, wait, no, that's not what I picked. I picked the monorail and then went, oh, that's still hard. And my gut wants to say monorail, but then the horns, it all goes back to the horns of the Friendship Boats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's what gets me. I don't know. Are we picking for each other? Hi, Skipper Bob.
No, I'll tell you my reasoning first. So I had the Tower of Terror versus the cockpit. Now, I waited 2.5, 3 years, whatever it was. Like, all I want on the opening day is to get into the Millennium Falcon. Like, that's all that matters. And it totally exceeded the very high expectations I had.
Yeah.
So that's one. Two is the Tower of Terror drops. I mean, it's not like I'm a free fall guy or a thriller ride guy. Obviously, the theming of Tower of Terror is, it's, in the upper 1% there.
Right.
But I also have the nostalgia of when I was a cast member. And once upon a time, there was only one drop. And then they decided to do 1.5 drops.
Right.
And they decided to test this out on the cast members after park closing. Yeah. And I had been at a rehearsal for the Toy Story Parade with several of the Green Army men, learning the Green Army men routine in case of an emergency. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. All right. So anyway, So then afterwards, we got to ride Tower of Terror like 1,000 times and to try out the half a drop. So I have that kind of tie. What do you want me to do? You want me to pick yours, or you want to pick your own?
I'll pick my own.
All right, pick your own.
Pick yours.
Do it.
Pick yours.
I'm going with the cockpit.
I'm going with the monorail.
All right.
Am I? I wrote it down. That's it. That's done. I'm not erasing.
Do not underestimate a friendship boat ride, everyone. Do not sleep.
Don't underestimate waking up in the beach club and hearing the horns with the morning breeze, the morning dew, and that sound in the distance.
I agree, Lewis. If I was just seating one group per flight, whew, I would have gone. That's all I would have done. I would have pulled a U all day long, Lewis, just going through and going on the ride over and over and over again. 100%.
Yeah, very true.
All right, so we move down to the final bracket. It is the Iger bracket. It was the People Mover versus the Caves of Tom Sawyer's Island. Sawyer's Island. Trader Sam's When You Disturb at the Tiki Cons and everything goes a little crazy versus the Queue of Thunder Mountain. Elsa Letting You Go versus the Beaches and Cream Dessert in the Tiki room versus the Cali River Rapids slide. You can kind of take like a 30-foot slide there. The Safari versus Summit Plummet. A little ditty we like to call Summit Plummet.
Mm-hmm.
The Tree of Life photo op versus the Jelly Rolls sing-along. The Mission Space Takeoff versus Anytime Figment Appears in the current, whatever you want to call that, imagination ride. Mm-hmm. And the Pirates Raiding Town Square versus Inhaling Those Delightful Tomorrowland Speedway Fumes.
Follow-up from last week. Frank has now been to my house with that new Ford AA truck in my garage. Did you smell the fumes?
I did. Yeah, I smelled it on me. I smelled it in your living room. I smelled it everywhere.
It was everywhere. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a little strong. All right.
But you loved it.
I loved it. Oh my God, I love it. I'm so excited for the smell to just be in my garage all the time. I don't smell it in the house as much now either. One, I've become, what is that? What's that Febreze commercial where you're nose blind? So either that is happening or it's just gotten better where I don't smell it upstairs. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. This is Lee Taylor's right here. He had the People Mover moving on. He had the Tiki Room moving on. He had the Safari moving on. And he had Figment moving on. If I'm reading that right, my eyes hurt a little bit. Staring at the screen all day on team calls, Zoom calls, GoToMeeting calls, StreamYards, whatever.
Yeah, all the things. All the things.
All right, Jen.
Yep.
You first. Remind us of what you had going to the second round and what you chose.
So I had the People Mover versus Thunder Mountain Queue. People Mover, obviously. Mm-hmm. I had Beaches and Cream Dessert versus the Tiki room, and I went Beaches. I had the Safari versus Jelly Rolls. Jelly Rolls, of course. Mm-hmm. And I had Anytime Figment Appears versus the Fumes. And I went with the Fumes. I went with the Fumes.
The Cinderella team of Jen's #Dillo's Madness bracket. Launch out, everyone. When it goes up against the People Mover, we could have some issues.
That's going to be a big showdown.
Because the People Mover goes over.
That's what's going to happen. No. Oh, no. Cue the TikTok music.
I know. Oh, no. And so many videos of the People Mover going over the speedway. We got enough. We got enough to go on for that.
Oh, my God.
So just to add here, Lewis had tweeted us at Delos Diz just a little while ago talking about the Ship of Theseus, which since you didn't watch WandaVision, we didn't really deep dive on that. But the concept of Ship of Theseus, where if you take everything out of something and you interchange it with new parts, is it still the same thing? We talked about the Poly a lot with that, the Polynesian, and Lewis seemed to suggest that he wished we dove deeper on the attractions where you brought up the Great Movie Ride, but I was still in Parks and Monorails mode. I was like, the folly.
Yeah.
Just going, what time is it? It's so late.
Yeah.
That we just mainly talked about the Polynesian, but you mentioned Horizons. I think that's a great one of like, if you replace everything, can you still capture the essence? So if you, let's say you gutted Mission Space now and put Horizons back in, is it still Horizons? Nah, they pretty much bulldozed that building. Yeah. But my big one would be, could you recapture the, because you get all these Tony Baxter rumors all the time that he wants to go back and work on Journey into Imagination. Can it recapture the essence that was that ride? I don't know. That's a great.
What about World of Motion?
In Test Track? I wish they would. I mean, I'm not a fan of the redo of Test Track, like everything on the inside. Of course, I didn't like the change, of course, because I was like, why do they have to change this? It was fine. It was all testing the cars. What? Yeah. But it would be interesting to see them try to incorporate the old World of Motion into Test Track. I would like to see what that looked like. I don't think it would capture the essence per se, but I would love to see it, meet one another in the middle somewhere.
Right. What about? I'm tangenting now. What about? What's the one I just had? Now I lost 3. I'll give myself 5 seconds to try to remember. Buzz Lightyear going back.
Oh, I think that one probably would. I mean,
same track.
That wasn't like same track.
Yeah.
I think the technology, the high def of the screens, probably make it a little better. Would it have the same essence? I think.
I'm gonna need the smoke. I'm gonna need the smoke and the light. That smells weird.
And you are more Dream Flight than anything else.
Yes.
That's also part of your part of your world. Okay, so my picks here. I had People Mover versus Trader Sam's, Disturbing the Tiki Gons. I went with the People Mover. Beaches and Cream dessert. Speaking of the Ship of Theseus, Beaches and Cream is a legit. I mean, it had the food taste the same. The paper straws making a little bit of a problem, but is it the same? No. At this point, I'd rather eat outside and look at Stormalong Bay, I would say. Would you agree? Would you rather have a table outside of Beaches and Cream, just so there are some things that look the same rather than eating inside Beaches and Cream again?
I would go with the counter.
The counter.
Or outside, I guess.
Like, but I don't want to look at the rest of this. I'll eat it.
Right. If I'm at the counter and my back is to the change, can I zone in then and feel like, give me my burger and my milkshake. Let me see Brian, the waiter who works there, and let everything just feel normal if I stay in this box here. Maybe. Hi, Dr. Val.
How come we haven't had Brian on the podcast yet?
We need to, because I don't have his information. Does anyone out there know Brian from Beaches and Cream? We got to find him. He's got to be out there somewhere.
100%. All right, so I got 2 more, right? So I had... What is this? Oh, I had Summit Plummet versus the sing-along at Jelly Rolls. I'm assuming I'll never do Summit Plummet ever again. Yeah. I went with the Jelly Rolls sing-along, knowing that I will be in Jelly Rolls again. Yeah. Pirates versus the Mission Space Takeoff. I went with the Pirates rating Town Square on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Interesting. Okay.
And that is our second round picks. All of those great ones. Moving on to the Sweet 16. Next week, we will be back for this live stream to go into the Elite 8. The Elite 8.
Right, with all the seeds.
With all the seeds.
Who will win? Will there be an upset? I don't know.
We will be doing that live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern next week. I'm throwing Jen off with the scheduling. I apologize. Sometimes Frank has to work. So 9 p.m. Eastern next week for our Sweet 16 choices, who will move on to the Elite 8. We have a new What's in the Attic up. We have Mr. Snidillo on Theme Park Thursday this week. Hopefully we'll have an announcement up for the Forever 44 Fedora Club. I have to review the film that may be the focus of the meeting to make sure I can really tie in the fedoras. Because it's always it's got to be in at least it's not about the fedora, but it's that one has to make an appearance.
The meaning of the fedora.
It's the meaning of the fedora. So that is the plan there. And then we'll be back on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Parks and Monorail's most magical hour with the morning monorail fam.
We can't speak. We can't.
I was a lot. I talked a lot in my meetings today. Yeah. So usually, if I'm on, if like, oh, he got all his words right today, it's because I didn't talk a lot in the meetings. I talked a lot today in meetings. So that's
you should do vocal exercises.
Listen, I tell myself this all the time, and I should. But why? I don't know. So, and of course, hashtag Delos Madness. Get your bracket in by 3 a.m. Eastern tonight, midnight Pacific. Get your bracket. DilosDiz@gmail.com. The entire Dillos Diz, my favorite thing about Disney ever this year, March Madness Mania Pool. Hashtag Delos Madness. Brought to you by Disney's Delos Diz Resort at DilosDizResort.com. Your virtual destination for exclusive Delos Diz content. Patreon membership levels begin as low as $1 per month. Listen, it's free to park hop. Just visit DilosDizResort.com. Take a look around. Enjoy the views. Feel the breeze. It's free to just take a look. Until when we see you again Tuesday night, most likely. She's Jen. I'm Frank. Bye-bye.